Right, okay, so this is really interesting. This is where, and you guys hear me, this is where I get really fired up about things, right? Because anybody that says to you, what you got to do you ever hear this one? God helps those who what? Untrue. Untrue. But we all know it. We all know that one, right? That's like the one that God helps those who help themselves. No, he doesn't. God helps those who can't help themselves. That's the truth. You cannot help yourself. Congratulations. You can't help yourself. The Lord led them out of Egypt. They couldn't do anything to free themselves from the bondage of the Egyptians. The Lord had to do it all. God had to do it all. Listen, it's important for everybody to know that. It's important for the children of Israel to know that. It's important for you to know that. It's important for me to know that. That as far in terms of salvation, you had no hand in it. You being set free, you got no hand in it. Now, in terms of obeying the Word of God, you got a big hand in that. Obeying what the Word of God says and applying it to your life, yes, you take a big hand in that. What you read and what you apply are two different things. Because anybody can know the Word of God. Even the devil knows the Word of God. Blessed are those who hear the words of my Father and do them, is what the Lord said. Do them. Don't just be hearers, be doers, James would say. Applying the Word of God is much more important than just knowing it and memorizing it. And so what he's going to say is this, and remember, in verse 9, it shall be as a sign to you on your hand and as a memorial between your eyes. And again, he's talking about what you know and what you apply. The Word of God in your head, great. The Word of God on your hands, better. You understand? The two have to work. They have to coincide. Because your hands were given to you by God. Your mind was given to you by God. It should be filtered by the Word of God. What you put your hands to do should be filtered by the Word of God. What you put in your mind should be the Word of God. Not just knowing it. Knowing it is one thing, because you can't just put the Word of God in your hands and not know it, because then you'll be out of balance. When you start just doing like little things, like, when you start taking little short snippet pieces of the Word of God out of context and just kind of applying them to your life, then you're really out of balance. But then if you just know the Word of God and you don't really apply it, well, then you're out of balance there too. So in that instance, what good is it to know the Word of God if you're not going to apply it? You understand? And then the opposite is also true. What good is it if all you're doing is serving, right? There's two types of ministries. There's Mary ministry and Martha ministry. We all know what I'm talking about there, right? Mary chose the better thing because she sat down at the feet of Christ. But Martha was running around kind of keeping up the house. Remember, Mary and Martha, the sisters of Lazarus, right? So Jesus comes in, he sits down, and Mary anoints his feet with oil. And all of a sudden, Martha's just running around the house. She's running around the house, just crazy. And she's getting all upset because Mary, Mary's kind of like, the hippie chick, just sitting down at the feet of Christ, She's kind of taking it all in, Ah, yeah, Jesus, And Martha's just kind of running around the house, just kind of doing all this stuff, getting the coffee, setting out the Entenmann's. And she's just getting all upset. And then the Lord has to go up to her and really gently just go, Martha, you're about many things, but Mary's chosen the better thing. And you need both. But right now, Mary chose the better thing. Mary's chosen to sit at my feet, Martha. And she's got too much of the Word of God in her hand. You get that? Too much. She's just a doer, constantly doing. But there's no truth in her mind. She can apply the Word of God, great, wonderful. But she just doesn't know enough to listen. This is why God says you have to have both. You got to have it between your eyes and your mind, and you got to have it on your hands as well.